is President George W. Bush throwing out the ceremonial first pitch at Yankee Stadium before Game 3 of the 2001 World Series, just over a month after the attacks of September 11th. It's a moment our next guest described as the greatest sports moment he's ever seen in person, and he's seen quite a few. Joining us now, 12-time Emmy winner and Hall of Fame sports broadcaster Jim Gray. He's author of the new book, Talking to Goats, The Moments You Remember and the Stories You Never Heard. Jim, it's great to see you. We're excited to talk to you about this book because, boy, it is a list of GOATs. Ali, Brady, Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, Tyson, Tiger, among those to go with the presidents that you talk to and talk about in this book. But let's start with that moment in 2001. I'm a Yankee fan, yes, but I'm also American. I got chills again watching it just now. What was it like to be there when you consider the circumstances around that first pitch by President Bush?
Well, it was a very tense and sad time in New York City. Anthrax was going around the country, so nobody knew what was going to happen next. Everybody was anticipating from the CIA down, perhaps another terrorist attacks were imminent. So when President Bush went out there and threw that pitch, it was just a great moment for America. It was a symbol. He was so courageous to go out there all by himself. It was the first time, Willie, I ever remember going to a game through a metal detector. And then he went out there and threw a perfect strike. And he was saying a lot like FDR did many, many years ago during the war. He said, we're going to grieve, we're going to mourn, but now we're going to play baseball. Just a little sense of normalcy. And boy, to be there, you were just so proud to be an American, proud of this young president, proud of the Yankees, Major League Baseball. And then the Yankees won the game. That moment and Muhammad Ali lighting the torch are the two greatest moments I've seen in sports. And they weren't actually people who were participating in the game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Ali, that moment at the 96 games in Atlanta. You were there for that as well. Talk about chills again. The sight of this American icon standing there, shaking from Parkinson's disease, but holding that torch firmly.
Willie, the grace, the humanity, the fragility of life, the greatness, the courage, dignity, all of that wrapped in one. And there he was, the man who had done so much in the ring and so much for social change and justice and his stance against the war outside of the ring. And there he was, there for the grace of God, go I. And he shook that torch and he lit it, struggling, as you said, from Parkinson's. And everybody there, it just showed what all of us can be. It brought out the best of what the world can be. Through this amazing symbol of Muhammad Ali. It was so special. I still get chills thinking about it. And I heard Bob Costas and Dick Enberg in my ear. Oh my. And it was, oh my.
It was one of the great Olympic moments. Jim, Mike Barnicle's here. He's got a question for you. Mike?
Jim, there's so much in this book, it's hard to choose what to pick up and talk about, but I have a couple of things I want to talk about, both of them anecdotal that are in the book. One involves Donald J. Trump. You're playing golf with him, and he asks you a couple of questions during your golf game. The first question he asks you is am I the best amateur you've ever played with? And you point out you've played with Tiger Woods when he was an amateur. And then later on in the match, he asks if he is the best golfer over the age of 60 that you've ever played with, and you have to tell him, no, you've played with Arnold Palmer. Upon reflection, what does that tell you about where we are now as a country?
Well, all of my interactions, except for one interview with him right after he was elected president and sworn in at the Super Bowl, all of my interactions came with Donald Trump while he was involved in sports, the Spinks and Tyson fight, the USFL when he was an owner, and then this golf piece that we did. And he just wanted to have the moniker of being the best. And so he went down the list until we finally got to, am I the best player that you played with in New Jersey? Well, I hadn't played golf in New Jersey, Mike. So I said, yeah, sure. You're the best golfer in New Jersey. He says, well, make sure that gets into the piece. It was all fun and games. This was long before he was president. And so, we went out and played golf, and he was collecting all of these golf courses. And it was actually, pretty funny that he just kept going on down the list until we found something that we could use that he was the best at.
The other element I wanted to talk to you about that's in the book, and again, there's so much in the book, Pete Rose, there's that infamous interview you had with him, I believe, at the All-Star game when you were trying to correctly pin him down on whether or not he was guilty of gambling on baseball, and he wavered. Do you think that Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame?
Mike, I believe this. I believe that the rule was changed in 1991 about being on the banned list and then not being eligible. So it was retroactively done so that he would be excluded from being on the ballot. And I believe this. We don't live in the Soviet Union. You don't wipe out a man's records. You just can't say that what he did didn't exist. Did he do wrong? Has he admitted that he gambled on baseball? Yes. Is that a horrible thing that he did? Yes. And he's admitted that mistake. But that doesn't erase him being the hit king. So there should be a plaque and there should be something that notes what he did. So that is also ingrained into the minds of baseball fans. And it should be up to the voters. Let the senior committee decide. Baseball should not have a stand on this at this point, because if you're going to link and couple them together, then his infractions came before they made that link. So I think that it should be up to the voters, and then they have to weigh, does a man's accomplishments outweigh the integrity that he displayed or lack of integrity?
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.